So this section is 146 slides.
Yeah.
You were just seeing that too?
Yeah. So
this is the start of the, well, this one and another one, one's 190, the one's 140. This is 140, the single person, what are we dealing with? Active mobile. Oh, so single investigator, yeah. So this is, I think this is the biggest.
yes, single person vehicle, biggest, yeah. So you can kind of, we wanted to save more complex topics.
Trying to build on
gradually
control,
get you
equipment,
comfortable.
setup, now where it's like, okay, you're on the job now. Here's you break it down day by day. All right, so we've been leading up to active mobile single surveillance, which is, on the surveillance side of things, the majority amount of work that private investigators will do. There's some areas, and in my career, I've had some experience where, certain jurisdictions, contracts are allotted for 2 people, a little bit lesser rate, 2 people on every file. It hasn't been something I've seen a lot of, so I'd say the rule is generally that if you're doing surveillance, you're kind of on your own until the file requires more support. And the expectation, minus expectations, I think that what I'd say is that with training and experience, you can do a lot on your own. There's a lot you can do on your own. It's going to be specific to your, I like that definition of success is when opportunity meets preparation, right? And so if you're prepared, if you're trained, if you have the right attitude, a lot can be accomplished on your own. Certainly there's plenty of examples in the world around us of that. And in surveillance, it's a bit of a solitary thing. I think the only sort of, downside to surveillance, if you will, is you can do some amazing things by the things we're talking about: pattern recognition, anticipation, ability to foresight, decision making, your ability to find parking quickly. All these things add up to being able to maintain and then really get some really great evidence for your client. What sort of is lost on most people is the greatness in the process that you may have from time to time. No one's going to witness it, and the end result really doesn't tell the story of how you got it. So I guess my point in all of that is you end up going home feeling good about what you've done. Certainly the people you're working for should have some appreciation, but even those that are experienced, unless you tell them the whole story, it's harder to appreciate your challenges. So, you're just going to have a lot of wins that you're going to have to celebrate yourself, and when you go home, how was your day? And you're like, it was good, because the moment you get into it, people are like, oh my God, it's just.
Well, it's the misconception too,
right.
like you were saying, right? They don't understand. They're like, oh, that's
They don't
easy.
understand. Yeah.
It's so easy.
You have to start explaining every nuance and all
Yeah.
and then it's because of this, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, right? So you just kind of, it's good, have a good day. Same with policing, you don't get into it because they won't fully understand, and a lot of jobs are like that, right? So yeah, I think that's sort of, you learn to live with it, and I think at the end of the day, you're humbly happy with what you've been able to contribute to who you're working for in the case, and there's a lot of satisfaction in that for sure. But there's been a lot of times where I've done things that I just thought were truly amazing, and maybe they were, and I'm like, nobody saw that. Like, there's no witness to my greatness, right? And so, greatness, yes. So what are we talking about today? So active mobile surveillance. This is a chunky section. I think it's fun though. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's going to clip along because the information is good and it's easy to digest. Perception and managing variables. We've been talking a little bit about skill and luck and circumstances. So we're going to talk a little bit about skill, luck, and circumstances and how they interact together. Risk and reward. Started to talk a little bit more predominantly about the risk-reward conversation. Identifying the subject. We've talked a lot about that. So again, a little bit of redundancy in what we're talking about, but now we're going to get specific about identifying the subjects, tactics and techniques and tangible skills to identify, rather than this concept of you must identify, which is really what we've been talking largely about. The equipment map, going through the equipment, talk about cost, talk about cameras. We've diverged a little bit today on those topics, which is fine. We're going to go over them again. Traffic, determining vehicle distance, driving categories, tactics, and different methods of driving. Okay, surveillance concepts, being approached. So you were asking that earlier, Sarah, about what do you do? Common locations, the weather, documenting, equipment positioning, filming, and transitioning from to foot surveillance from the vehicle. So again, it's a big list, it's a big chunky subject, but all of them are fun. Certainly I enjoy talking about it.